61 pound. Yeah.
And we
That's real nice.
6 cylinders, 265.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they 265 back then?
Yep.
You weren't around to witness him where he was
Yeah.
driving.
No, he got to the driveway before I went by his house.
Yep.
His wife was getting out of the car.
She wouldn't let me get too wild with it. She had the speedometer in her hand the whole time.
Right.
You're running 67.
Oh, that's great. I'll call Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, this speedometer was off.
What?
It's a GPS.
Oh, okay. Darn it.
It's
Right now.
2,200 RPMs.
All righty, let's call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. All of us sing tonight's the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approve agenda.
Move to approve if there are no changes.
Second.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Zach.
Finished my training, down in Tampa this, a week ago. Earned my CEPTED professional designation, so I don't really know what that means other than I suppose I could put those letters after my name now, but now on a database essentially can help other towns if they need assistance and obviously give some direction here in Bloomfield, which Cam and I have already worked together on a few projects. Spoke with Karen today on that whole process and how the class went today. So she'll be having something come out in the paper, but certainly open to having discussions with anybody on, kind of what that's about. If anybody wants to do that. Couple other things, the police department, Shop with the Cop coming up December 2nd, so big deal. So we'll be here in town for a while. We'll have to go over to Tumwa for some of the bigger items that's on the kids' wish list. So the school's helping give us, ideas of some of the kids. They fill out an application. That's kind of the process we go through. We try not to do the same kids year after year. We try to get, different families.
You already have how many kids you're gonna help?
We usually take one per officer. And we usually maybe try to sneak, it depends on how many applications we get, but we try to sneak another one in.
Okay.
That, usually our significant others go with us. We can usually handle an extra one to kind of help out. So 5 to 6 is usually what we try to do each year. We'll be giving away our Thanksgiving baskets. Essentially what that is we partner with some local places here and we give out Thanksgiving baskets. We'll pull people over. Instead of writing them a ticket, we'll give them a Thanksgiving basket. So it's kind of been a neat thing. So I don't know, maybe we'll get a 61 Impala pulled over. Yeah, that's all.
Tommy, Joe, and Jeff tonight.
I am. So Jeff can't be here tonight, but he did bring us his notes. So everything's going good so far at the fire department. They're still doing some house clean and going through the sheds and getting rid of stuff that we don't need. The Bloomfield Fire Department has applied for a grant through the foundation for $5,000 to replace 2 thermal imaging cameras. So they're hoping to hear about that around Thanksgiving. He's wanted to give you a little background on later in the agenda. He's asking to hire a new firefighter. His name is Jesse Tees or Toes. Not sure how to say it. He says energetic. He's been there the last couple months helping out, cleaning, washing the hose, doing different trainings with them and whatnot. He fits in well, so he's hoping that you guys will approve his application tonight. And then with code enforcement, he is working on a few violations that haven't been paid, so he'll be working with us girls in the office to find out, if they haven't paid, is there something we can do to get paid? So we can help him with that, and then he would like Tammy to add something to Facebook soon that just states that the residents have 48 hours to clean their sidewalks when the snow flies, so just give them a friendly reminder. Other than that, that's it.
Anybody have any interest in it? Okay. Main Street? Jim?
I don't really have a lot of exciting updates, I guess. We're working on our annual planning and kind of our year end, to get ready for 2024, work on our budget. We have hometown Christmas coming up. My office is actually starting to get empty from the trees. We have about 20 businesses and organizations that have signed up to decorate trees for our, fundraiser for that. So that's really good. That's more than last year. Otherwise, just kind of planning for Christmas and waiting for that to get here and work on our annual planning.
Thank you. I don't see John, probably not on the phone, right? Okay. Consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Excuse me. Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Authorize the mayor to sign a letter of agreement between the city of Bloomfield and SIEC.
So this should just be a agreement that the Southern Iowa Electric's attorney typed up. We sent it over to Gayla. She gave us a recommendation and they changed the piece that we asked them to. Megan has purchased a piece of land out by Bloomfield Livestock, and it just so happens that half the property is city territory for electricity and half is Southern Iowa Electric. So since they already are established out there with their poles and electricity, we're looking to ask you to approve letting them service her instead of us. We would have to put out some infrastructure and bring it in there. So since we're there, we're looking to just let them service her instead.
Congratulations.
Think.
And we can't let them do that without having some sort of a written agreement in place. And then
What was the cost? Like 50 to 70,000 for us to get her set up.
It'd be a 20-year, it'd be probably a 20-year payback.
Yeah.
Power out to her.
Move to approve. The mayor signing that agreement.
Second.
Jennifer? Yes. Earl?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Discuss fiscal year 25 union wages. I think Jeremy asked for this to be added to the, chair before.
Yeah, like, so we signed our, 5 years ago. And we are under contract, no denying it. The 1 year of our contract, was prior to 2020. And everybody knows what happened in 2020. So, you know, I felt like we did a good job bargaining, with the city. The city asked for the 5 years. And in return for getting a 5-year contract, they would give us 0.5% more upfront. Then after that, we got 2 1/4. So that's kind of how we come up with a 5-year agreement. So I guess what we're looking at, the last year of this contract, I know Chris said, please come back again this year. There's a chance that we might be able to do something for you guys on the end of the contract, based on the inflation and all the numbers. I know in about less than 3 weeks from now, we're all gonna be sitting around at the table, eating some Thanksgiving dinner as a group here with, city officials. We always get a good speech every year. Chris talks for him and the council. He says that you guys appreciate everything that we do, and for what we do for the community. So I guess we're asking, we don't really have a definite number that we want to present you. We can give you one, but I feel that, at this point in time, that instead of arguing back and forth, we would ask that you look at what we've done in the last 5 years in this contract. And if you feel that we, as a whole, deserve a little bit more money than 2.25, we'd be negotiating today. The raise would be a minimum of 3%. And if you do go through with it and, you feel like that your employees deserve more than 2.25, we would sign a memorandum of understanding. It would just attach to the back of the contract that we have now. There's no opening, there's no nothing. It's just an attachment. We've done it for different jobs that we've approved in the past, as far as the parks job, I think was the last one that we added a memorandum of understanding that we made, Robbie the lead name. And then whenever you open your contract up, after this is done, then you take the memorandum of understanding and then you plug it into the contract and then you go from there. So.
Tommy, didn't this come up here a couple of months ago? Wasn't there something about like wanting like a pay raise or something?
We talked last year.
Nothing was done at that time, correct?
So last year it was decided, and voted upon to not open it last year and look at this year, whether or not to do it this year. I've had multiple conversations with Jeremy in my office, but this is the first time it's coming back to the council, for all of you to decide. Now, prior, a couple months ago, or about a month ago, Earl and I and Chris all met because they're our negotiating committee. And at that point, that decision was no, we weren't going to, but then, it was asked to put back on the agenda and let the whole council discuss it instead of just the negotiating committee.
And that was a month ago.
About a month and a half.
Okay, Jeremy, if like this 3%, it's for the final year of the existing contract, am I correct on that?
That's correct, and I believe if I would figure in my wage, if you would give us.
So at year 5, when renegotiations occur, you would want to go up from that 3%, or like, how is this working?
How it works is, we're at the last year of our contract.
And you would
This raise
renegotiate in 12
This
months.
raise will come in effect July of next year. So after this contract is up, this time next year, we would go into negotiate a brand new contract.
So when is the current contract actually up?
And so
Give me a date.
25.
Next year's got 12 months. Give me a date
June 30th.
of 24.
25.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I think what you're asking is an increase for fiscal 25, which would take effect July 1st of 24,
That's
right?
correct.
For the last year.
Yes.
So I appreciate Jeremy coming. I got some information here I want to discuss. So I will, contrary to popular belief, I will still give a speech on Thanksgiving, and I will still tell you guys do a great job. I will. But what I, as the mayor, is against is breaking a contract. Nobody's ever broke a contract for me. Not the cable company, not the insurance company, not anybody. Now, I would like to point out a few things because Jeremy does, and he will agree, he has referenced Atumwa to Bloomfield many times. Bloomfield gets 2 more holidays than Atumwa does. Bloomfield gets 1 week of vacation and 6 months of service, and Atumwa doesn't until their first year of service. And you guys can read these down through there. There's differences on the, Bloomfield gets 4 weeks at 10 years, 5 weeks at 15 years, and so on. Bloomfield gets $750 to $1,250 allowance on uniforms if you're required to wear FR. Atumwa gives 0. Jeremy brought up, 1 year of this contract or maybe 2 years of this contract was right before COVID hit. And Tumwa negotiated in the heart of COVID and settled on 2%. They're in the heart of COVID. They're a town of 23,000 people, 10 times bigger than the city of Bloomfield. You can imagine what their budget is. I'm not the mayor over there. They settled at 2, we're at 2.25. So we're already ahead. Compared to the county, our wages for the outside guys are more than the county guys. The county guys are 25.16. We're above that. So a short story is you will get paid.
I
You-
know, I don't make.
Let me finish. I'll let you finish.
I don't make 25.16.
Okay.
so-
No, you may, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what you make. You make 25.40, and your counterpart in the Tumwa makes 24.80. You have told me before that you threatened to go to the Tumwa. Okay, so you're already making close to $1 more an hour and not driving to a Tumwa.
Which that is not correct.
It's absolutely true. It came straight from their clerk.
And you know why?
I guess what I'm asking the council is, first of all, I'm not big on breaking a contract. I don't believe it's ever been done. Okay, so if you said, let's break a contract because there must be something seriously wrong with the contract that they agreed to. I've proven there is. Tumwa gets less of a raise and negotiated right in the heart of COVID than our guys and gals get. So I guess what I'm asking is, I'm not gonna be a big fan of the guys and the gals because all I'm asking is we stick to the contract, which was negotiated and agreed on both parties. I believe so. There will be a time in a year from now when we negotiate, you will come to the table and I'm sure you'll want a lot bigger raise than 2%, which I'm sure that probably we will have to give a bigger raise because that will be the going rate in America at that time. But in my opinion, the only reason you would break the contract is if somebody was seriously deficient. And I've just showed you, we are not seriously deficient. We're actually above the grade here. I mean, you that have worked other places, and I've heard this speech given to me before, you never really want to be the leader in wages. You just kind of want to be right there. And if you look at what I gave you, compared to a town that's 10 times bigger than us and has a lot more money than the city of Bloomfield, we're actually above that. We are a good place to work. We take care of our employees. So I ask you not to break the contract and I'll be quiet. Jeremy, would you like to add anything?
I can't remember how it went down last year, but I thought the way it went down after we negotiated the union, I thought you did break the contract for Tommy Joe. I'm not for sure how I went down, but I thought you eliminated something and
She's not a
added to it.
union employee, Jeremy.
Well, it has nothing to do with the union for one thing. You brought up the phone company and everything else.
How did we break the contract for a non-union employee unless I'm misunderstanding?
I just thought you added to it and gave her more than what was in, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Not
have
in
a
the
written,
contract.
I don't have a written contract.
I'm not talking about our union contract.
I don't have a written contract.
He said something about a cable contract and a contract in general.
She got a raise, just like everybody else got a raise last year. Was her raise bigger? Absolutely.
Yes.
But if you went out on the open market and found that position, she's still underpaid.
Right.
So all we did was try to shorten that gap.
But I want to say on that, on the job that you're comparing me to someone, that is not, person running plant, that's a typical labor position in wastewater. There's a difference between that position and mine, because I hold a grade 2 wastewater.
All I know is that that number came directly from their city clerk and we specifically asked those questions. So I didn't make that phone call, Jeremy. I won't put that up, but that number came directly from that person. And that's the wage that they quoted us for that person with your skill set or anybody else in a different place. So
And then the 0.75% that we would like to see, I believe it's 18.5 cents for me at my wage that I would be receiving. I know I had conversations with Dawn, with all four of you once upon a time. So I guess we know where the mayor's stands, but
Well, one thing I wanted to ask, like, because you were talking about breaking a contract. You said we're not actually breaking
You're
a
not.
contract.
you're not.
you're adding to a contract.
Adding
You would
to-
add an amendment.
Add an amendment.
So it's not breaking a contract. There's nothing wrong with it.
So have you ever called your, I don't know, your home loan and said, I don't like 5%, can I get 4.25%?
Actually, I have negotiated that.
Sorry.
All I'm saying is
Yeah, I got
this
it.
is the contract they agreed upon in good faith.
I
I also showed you that this contract is actually above a contract that was negotiated 2 years later after COVID hit.
Well,
That is some of the philosophy behind the union
I know what
asking
you're
for more
saying.
money.
Technically,
So-
inflation didn't really hit probably when, it looked like 720 is when they negotiated. That really,
It was
it wasn't
21,
hitting it. It was
22, yeah.
later. So they probably regret their 2% at that point, but,
Let me ask you this, Jeremy.
Yeah.
If you got the 3%, would you agree to that? Can you do this for 5 years and then you can't ask for another pay raise?
Well, you'd
Absolutely
be
not.
negotiating a new contract if you wanted to.
We're not negotiating.
That's a no.
Yeah.
We're
Not
just
till next year.
asking for
Seriously,
a
at the end of the day, you're talking
understanding
about
for
$15,000.
$0.75% to be added to the back of the contract.
So
So would you come, if everything went to hell and we needed to find 15,000, would you go to your union and say, drop your wages?
I would hope that you don't come.
Would you? It's a yes or no.
I'm gonna, let
It's a
me,
yes or no.
no, it's
Jeremy.
not a yes or no.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
You're
not.
coming to us and saying, we want some more money because we don't like our deal.
No, it's not.
And I'm asking you, if everything fell to hell at the city of Bloomfield and I needed to find 15,000 and asked you to take a pay cut, would you do it?
That's not a fair
All
question.
right, we know the answer.
No, Chris,
We know the
you're gonna
answer.
give a raise to everybody. It's not
Yeah.
just the union that,
We know the
because if the
answer.
union gets can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
If you give the union 3% today, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to give everybody else straight across the board 3%?
That depends on their job. There's people not in the union.
I'm just talking about.
And I know what you're trying to compare, Jeremy. I'm trying to compare your job to this guy's job, to that guy's job, to that guy's job.
I'm not
They're not apples to apples.
in the
No.
past.
We have
I've
clearly shown
I've
you are
negotiated-
well paid. They may decide to give you a raise,
Right.
but I have shown the city of Tumwater, you're making less.
I can
For the
answer
last
that
15
Go
years
ahead.
that I've negotiated with Earl and you and everybody, the non-union people have never got less.
Never got less than that.
What do you mean?
Then the union.
Never may
So I want,
not be the right answer.
it isn't.
It's
I'll
not,
answer
because
that
I
question.
know
I'm
when
talking
there are
about
times,
police officers.
I know there are times when they didn't get the same thing. I've been around here since 1989.
I said, since I've been involved.
Okay, all right.
So I'll answer that question because I'm already working on the budget. The first place that I start is benefits. No, we will not all get the same thing this year. We have salaried positions that are not part of the union. Some are underpaid and some are overpaid. Last year, one of our employees whose salary can confirm that they got a 1% raise, 1%. Union got 2.25. Some of us got 3 to 5%. So the answer is no, we will not all get the same
I'm
thing.
comparing the police officers.
The police officers won't either.
In the past.
Different,
I know, I'm just telling you, I'm answering the question for this year. The police officers are still gonna be $2 probably an hour less than the county. We can't afford to bump them up all at once. And I will tell you that when it comes to the clerk and the DPW and Tammy and the community development, there's some that are underpaid and some that are overpaid based on what our needs are for the city of Bloomfield. So we will be looking at all of those. I don't set my own salary, obviously, they're gonna set it. But the answer is no. You guys won't all get the same, but next year, when you guys come to a decision of, and a vote of whether or not you're gonna keep the union, if you choose not to, then the rest of the people who are part of the union will then become non-union, like the rest of us. You'll get a performance review and your raise would be dependent upon your own personal performance instead of everybody getting the same in the union. So that's what we're gonna do for next year. So you guys can think about that on what you wanna do. The only other piece that I would add is obviously we're only talking about 15, 18 grand at the end of the day. Not a huge dollar amount in the grand scheme of things. You guys are gonna vote however you wanna vote. I'll make it work one way or the other. As far as the budget goes, we are not going to add to the department's budget no matter what. So, I had another lengthy conversation with Cindy Kendall this week about our treasurer's report and what is in the fund balance. I took some time to explain it to Colin this week of how everything just operates as a city. Yes, we have about $8 million cash. Here's how it's allocated. We cannot afford, and I'm gonna say it again because I know I've said it a million times. We cannot afford to go over budget, period. So at the end of the day, the conversation that we had with the library, the fire department, and everybody else is, here's what your salaries are. We're gonna subtract out utilities for the buildings. We're gonna subtract out insurance on the buildings, the trucks, the fuel, everything that we need to make the city run. And then there's gonna be a number left. And that's the number that we're gonna work with. And we are not increasing our budget. We're trying to get to the end goal of every utility. And the general fund would run from the general fund. We don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul. We don't want to borrow from electric to support the general fund. We're getting some fund balances built up, but from the last couple of meetings, you do know that we just approved 2 roads to get replaced that were not in the budget. So those will have to come out of fund balance. I'm not suggesting one way or the other on whether or not to go with the 2 1/4 or the 3%. But what I'm going to tell you from facts is that if it's granted, we're cutting somewhere $18,083.48. So, and that may be, we don't get as many pairs of gloves or safety glasses or something. Someone might have to keep track of something and know where it's at, because at the end of the day, we have $1 million to spend. We know next year you got 800,000 that you guys want to do in sidewalks. So you're down to $200,000. If you wish to take $20,000 off that 200 and give it to the union staff, completely fine. But this time next year, I'm going to remind everybody who makes the decisions, you got 180,000 left. What do you want to do? I've had multiple conversations with Tammy in regards to grants and different projects. And at the end of the day, there's still only so much to go around. So wherever your priorities are based on the business decisions that have to be made within the city is where you need to make that decision at the end of the day. So we do have some infrastructure and some things. I will be getting in touch with you guys about budget coming shortly, but at the end of the day, we as municipalities also are not known for making a bunch of money. We do have great benefits. I think sometimes some people forget all the benefits that we do have, but at the end of the day, I also understand that a gallon of milk is still $6 or $7 because I have to buy it too. So that's my 2 cents.
Anybody else?
I know you were gonna have something, sorry.
I was trying to think how I want to word it. So go back to what you said about if we wanted to take it from this bucket and use it versus taking it out of their fund right now. What were you talking about again?
No, so each utility has their own fund balance. And so as we collect people's utility bills and road use tax, it will go into their fund balance and then it helps pay their expenses. So, right now, our fund balances aren't as great in there because we're only a couple months into the year. So, you know, these fund balances should in reality be a little higher come, you know, March, April, May, et cetera. But we don't have that much time because we're working on the budget already. So what I'm proposing is that if you choose to bump it to 3%, if like the streets department budget's 400,000 overall, it would stay 400. We would just, you know, what are they gonna give up to get that? We would have to move some money around because there isn't additional cash flow to add to the budget. We still need to stay at 14 million, which is 13 million operating and $1 million a cushion to do projects, raises, increase health insurance, you know, expenses that come up throughout the year.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Well, in my opinion, is different than Chris's because I'm looking at the numbers here and I'm thinking, you know, a 5-year contract is a long way, especially going through COVID and the inflation that hit after. A small thing to me, like $18,000 to make these group of people happy and make them feel like they're appreciated, to me is worth it.
Got a motion?
That is a motion.
I have a question. So why do you negotiate a 5-year contract rather than a 3?
We negotiated a 5-year contract because the city, that was what the city requested on their, they wanted to see a 5-year contract.
No, that's not the way I remember
I
it.
wasn't here, so I'll have to take.
That's not the way I remember it.
That's,
We were wanting to do shorter, you guys wanted to go longer, so we, you know, we've always done 2 to 3 years.
We've always done about a 3-year contract and then all of a
We didn't
sudden
realize
it
what we're
was,
gonna hit and,
you
but we
know,
went with it.
things aren't looking good here. Make this a 5-year and you guys agreed to a 5-year. And so what difference does it make who really wanted it? We agreed to a 5-year contract.
We're not disputing that.
I commend you on making it to year 4 with that. I'm gonna ask you if you get this today and you go back to renegotiate year 5, you realize that that's gonna be a lot tougher negotiations, right?
we are negotiating to add to year 5 now. Is what,
But you're
But
saying,
he's saying-
you're saying
Year
whenever
5,
we show
come
up.
back, year 5, when you come back and it's time to get the new contract or whatever, it's gonna be just that much tougher because you're just cutting into the budget early is what you're doing essentially.
Yeah, the other thing I would say is
I would almost, I'm a union guy, I would almost wait until you're, but that's, and I'm on negotiating. I would.
Contract.
I think it would benefit you more, but I think you're putting the cart before the horse here, but because you're gonna make it tougher when it's time to negotiate.
now my comment would piggyback on what he said, because if you wait another year, you're gonna have better inflation numbers to try to go for a bigger salary increase than if you do it now.
right, but I don't know if we'll even be talking about this time next year, because I don't know if we'll have a union. I don't know.
So
Do I have any motions either way?
I had a motion, but.
Oh, you made a motion, Jim made a motion to give them the, whatever Jimmy wanted, 23,000.
Well, I was
Out of the
18.
3%.
But our negotiating team did not want to.
In year 5?
Yes.
Is there a
you
second?
know what?
He
Say that
said,
again.
The negotiating team did not want to do this. Did not want to give.
Did not want to-
3%.
To
And-
adjust the contract.
And
So
How recent? As of a month ago?
month and a half ago.
Well,
We
we
said no.
don't negotiate with them because we're not open. But the
Right.
negotiating
We
committee
came
on our
together to
behalf.
discuss this against the grand scheme of things. And it was a 45-minute to an hour discussion, pros, cons, everything.
Looking at
And
the
it was
budgets
the
they do,
opinion of the three people in there to come back and say, wait till the year's up.
The three people in there were union
They-
people.
No,
They were
us.
non-
City.
yeah, they asked us, so we got together, because we can't have a full-fledged meeting
Sure.
without people. So Tom and Joe, myself and Earl, we took a look at the budget, took a look at next year's budget, compared everything together and was decided it was in the best interest of the city to wait till the contract's up, renegotiate this time next fall, and go from, that was
So
our.
I wasn't aware of this meeting. I don't know.
You're not on the negotiator. So when the union comes to us and wants to open the contract up, right now it would be me and Earl that would set in on this meeting with them. Not the full, because they don't come before the full council. Yeah.
So the negotiating committee would talk with them. If the contract was open, would talk with the union. They would come to an agreement and then they would present it to council.
There'll be numerous
behalf of-
meetings between the two.
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
So I guess it would have been helpful to know what was discussed at that meeting prior to this. So that's what I'm saying.
Hey, did I ask you, I mean, did you guys just took that upon yourself?
Because they're from ourselves, because we knew that you didn't want to.
we're asking. And so we sat down and met.
We didn't have to meet with you. We
No,
met
but
with
what
them
I'm saying is.
to go over your proposal that you made in the past.
I never come and you guys
No.
didn't ask to me, did I?
No,
Okay.
you didn't come to them and ask to me. No.
Yeah.
You came to
came
me
to-
and asked to put on the
I
agenda,
remember
so I
them
took it to
being
the
in a meeting,
negotiating
they
team.
discussed that.
They talked,
But
the
anyway.
answer was no, but then we took it.
So I have a
back to the
motion.
whole
Do I
council.
have a second?
All second.
Okay. I have Josh with second.
Okay, Earl?
Read me the motion.
Excuse me, the motion is to, approve a 3% increase in year 5.
No.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I'd like to clarify that. You're saying 3% in year 5. What we're asking, we're at 2.25 now. What we're asking is for an additional 0.75% on top of the.
Make it.
Yes,
So
the
make-
top end is 2-3%.
The wording just didn't sound right.
How should I word it?
Increase
A
to
3% increase
3%.
effective July 1st of 2024.
I just want to make sure the wording.
My interest.
Yeah, some class,
We're kind of wanting to basically do a quarter check for maybe the last 3 years,
So-
you know.
Earl, do you need to,
He said
No,
you still know?
I'm still a no.
Okay, Dawn,
No.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes.
Approve invoice number 12978 in the amount of $60,433.05 to North Asphalt for Howard Street project. It's already done, right?
Yeah, I expect motion to approve that invoice.
Second.
Josh,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Approve the resolution of support and financial commitment for the Main Street program.
Move to approve.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Review and approve the urban renewal report for fiscal year 23.
So this is the urban renewal report that we file each year that just states, our TIF expenses that we had within the urban renewal areas.
Move to approve.
Second,
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Dawn,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Review and approve the TIF debt certification report for fiscal year 23.
This report is the TIF debt that we certify with the county that we will get reimbursed back for the expenses on the sidewalk in the different areas, in people's property taxes next year.
I read that. What was the dollar amount on that?
$163,806.
Thank God for TIF.
Amen. Amen.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jennifer.
yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Approve invoice number 172 in the amount of $60,000 McLaurin Company Concrete for the pool improvement projects.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Josh,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Approve invoice number 2839024, the amount of $17,485.15 to Deer Credit Incorporated. That's a payoff, one of them things. We bought.
Payment,
Payment.
payment for the equipment that was purchased.
Is that a yearly or 6 months or quarterly?
This piece of equipment is annual.
That's an annual.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Approve pay estimate number 2 from Leffler Dirt Works in the amount of $34,690.20 for work done on south sidewalk.
Move to approve.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Approve hiring a new firefighter.
I read this young man's letter. That was one of the best letters I believe that I've read. So it was really moving.
It's got some,
Yeah, he does. I was really impressed.
yeah,
So, yeah.
move to approve.
Second.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Earl.
Yeah.
Josh,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Public comments tonight.
Can I go back up to H and ask a question?
Approve the invoice.
I know we approved that at 17,485.15. What piece of equipment is that?
That one is gonna be for a mini excavator.
A mini excavator. Do we use it every day?
That one we do.
Okay, all right.
The other ones we
Next
don't.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hey, it's South Street in Columbia, if you want a lot of.
Okay,
There
I'll
will
be
be,
there.
there will be a couple.
Those
I
get
see
used
it
a
out.
lot.
I see it out a lot.
There will be
Okay.
a couple coming forward that we do not.
Okay, all right.
I wish I owned one of those.
I'd like to own one of those too.
Life would be mad at me, I'd be digging in the yard.
Any other public
So,
comment? All right. Tommy Joe.
just two things tonight for you. Obviously, like I stated earlier, budget has started for next year. So, if you have anything in particular that you would like to discuss or get on the list, let me know. I'm compiling a list of wants and needs from every department and, we will circle back around once we get into it a little more. But main thing is if there's something that you guys see or want to talk through, let me know. Sooner rather than later. The goal is to have Cindy Kendall review it and present it to council by end of year. So we'll be busy. Second thing is just, Kyle and I met with our health insurance representative and we discussed the change in premium. So last year, our premiums went up 6.5%, and this year they only went up 6%. So we were a little bit shocked because we did have some higher medical claims across the board, but dental and vision did not increase at all. They stayed the same. And the health insurance increases, if a employee plan is going up $2 a month, employee child and employee spouse is going up about 10 or 11, and then family is gonna go up $18 a month.
What does your health insurance cost?
Our health insurance costs the employee $321 a month, so about $160 a paycheck.
Single.
Family.
Oh.
We should open that to city council and sign up.
Right. So employee only is $17 a paycheck, so the city does fund 85% of the employee, child, spouse, and family for the employee, so that, and 95% of them single.
You change your mind, we're perfectly healthy
Okay.
as of right now.
But my drug plan went up 100%.
Yeah, I pay $1,800 a month, Earl, for a $15,000 deductible.
Yep.
So
Well,
I
for,
covered the school.
for,
it's terrible. Terrible.
For the record, the actual insurance for a family plan is $2,100 and the city covers 1,800 of it for them.
Gosh. Wow. You don't have to pay me for city council.
Okay.
All right.
Insurance. So those were really the only things that I had tonight, was just let you know that budget's in full swing and insurance didn't go up near as much as we thought it was.
That's
Don't
good.
reflect that in minutes.
We're like, that's it. Okay, we'll take it. Where do we sign?
Just a couple quick updates on the pools. I mean, I would call it 90% done. They're just waiting on Males. He's gonna finish that liner on the last 10 foot of line. So
That's the first week though, right?
pardon?
That's the first week. Didn't we find another week?
No, we fixed it. We did it ourselves.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
we
Okay.
took care of it ourselves.
I just heard about a second.
Yep, we did find one. It was in front of the bathroom, so we dug it up, fixed it ourselves, and it's gonna require a little bit extra concrete in, reduce some sidewalk. So we should hopefully have that. Vales had to pull off for an emergency job, so they should be back Monday to finish. And so we look for next week, the pool should be all wrapped up with clears. Doing a great job over there.
I will say that I don't know where he was talking. Supposedly there was a sidewalk that he basically just did because it should look nice. And he said I threw that in for the city. And I said, hey, thank you. So I didn't know if you knew that or not, or if he truly did throw it in, but
Yeah,
he did tell me
he did.
last night when he was in, he said, just want you to know, I did, part of the sidewalk wasn't supposed to be done, but it kind of needed it, and I just went ahead and threw it in
Yeah,
for you. I said,
took out.
thank you.
They took out the pool deck, it crumbled into the sidewalk pretty good.
So,
It's gonna
okay,
be tough to have a straight edge to go off of, and he put it in. It was minimum $1,000 worth of concrete that we had to. South side sidewalks are still going. Looking for Leffler's to come in Monday, I believe. I think the electric guys got one base to put in. And then the Leffler's are gonna come and start turning out sidewalks next week, against the building, and they gotta tear those out, get coal chutes replaced, and then they'll go back with new sidewalks. So hopefully the weather will hold and give us lots of good days next week, next couple of weeks.
will they replace the coal chutes like they replaced them on
They
the
are
west side?
No, they're gonna do like they did on the east side. They changed the plan. The original plan was to reinforce the coal chutes that they find. We didn't like that plan, so we asked to change it to do it like they did your side, where they just closed them in, cemented them in solid, so there's no longer a coal chute there. It's a much better option, and so they will be doing that. And so moving along on that, the highway's just about there up to Jay's, and that'll be the last stop for sidewalk on either side of the highway. So we'll get that way. We did finish just about finished up on the piece of property we bought on North Washington Street. We got that cleaned up, so we're gonna get that tomorrow. We're getting that deal as well.
Right here, Rusty.
That it?
Thank you. Tammy?
The WQI grant pre-application is due on the 17th. So we will have that in probably next week. We'll find out if we get past the pre-application to the final application, probably the end of January. That's for the sidewalks on the west and north side. If we make it into the final application, we'll find out probably the middle to end of March. If we receive the grant for the west and the north sidewalks. This week, Penny Bassick, who is the regional director for Senator Grassley, came to town. She was very excited and happy to see the progress that we've made in Bloomfield. Earl came, we went to the Hill Block, we went to Simtel. It was a kind of a bummer. Vince had a really nice presentation in the morning, and we told her about the $20 million grant that they had applied for, but at the time we didn't know. 3 hours later, she left. They found out they got the $20 million grant to do the extension. So that was a nice thing, and we emailed her and let her know, so she was pretty excited about that. When Senator Grassley does these 99 county visits, she would like for us to be one of the communities that is chosen to do a roundtable. She would like for us to have some business leaders, council, to come and do that roundtable type of discussion with Senator Grassley. He picks a few towns within the 99 county visit to do that with, and she would like for us to be one of them. So that was nice. The DC Foundation grant for the sports court has been submitted. It was due yesterday. I submitted it last week. So we should be hearing from that. I'm not really sure when they let us know. I think it's in December. But they let us know. That's for the sports court to go on the pickleball basketball court. So for right now, that's what I have.
Thank you. Council updates.
I have a comment about the wage situation. What Josh said about your strengthening, that it should be better in the future than it is currently. Because 2022 inflation rate was 3.3%, which is noticeably higher than your 2.25% you're getting. And in the past 12 months, the inflation rate has been 3.7%, which is even higher than that. And I don't think inflation is going to slow down much in the next 6 months or so. So when you guys get ready to negotiate again, you should have those numbers to give you a little more solid footing to ask for what you're trying to get. And I think that kind of goes along with what Josh was saying. You can get a little now, but that would take away from maybe more in the future because you don't have the numbers right now for your position, for your request. And that's why I voted no. I think you'll do better in the future than if you done something now.
Any other council updates?
I would like to thank Zach and Officer Davidson. They gave the cross-country team an escort out of town. So that's always good to promote our sports and community.
Quick comment on the trick or treat night.
I watched your video.
Okay.
That was good.
Oh, you want a comment from me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it went,
Did you get any candy? That's what I want to
it
know.
went great. I got one pack
Good to go.
of fruit snacks. Yeah.
I heard that there were like 4 inflatable dinosaurs.
There was, yeah.
They were.
Was you one of them?
No.
Oh,
And one kid,
It went really
his
well.
batteries went dead and his thing was collapsing on him. He wasn't a dinosaur. He was fighting it.
My son and Gannon was in that group. so-
It was a very well attended event. I was amazed at the number.
I
of
wasn't
people
on
who
the
had
square, but was it kind of the same amount?
Yeah.
I know it was really cold and windy.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we had
Chris.
900 glow sticks to give out and we ran out.
Okay.
It was very
I bought
strong
extra
and
more
cold.
than I usually did, and they said they ran out about 10 minutes before the end, which was better. Usually I run out long before that.
It went really well.
Okay. I don't have any comments tonight.
Motion. Second.
Carl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Be here tomorrow.